You know that feeling, right? Like your Dawah efforts are just a drop in an endless ocean. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to completely flip the script on those feelings of insignificance. By looking closely at the source material, we're going to build what we like to call the planter's mindset.
So let's jump right into this big question that honestly haunts so many of us. Do my small efforts actually matter? You put in the time, you try to share the beauty of Islam, but the results just seem totally invisible. It's so easy to feel overwhelmed or even burned out when society doesn't seem to change one bit. But here's the thing, that frustration, it actually comes from a complete misunderstanding of how success is really measured.
Section 1. The weight of an atom. How Allah measures success. Okay, we need to talk about the true metric of success. Look, the world demands these massive, trackable numbers, right? But Allah doesn't measure your contribution that way at all. Surah Al-Zalzala makes this crystal clear. Whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it. Think about that. It's about the pure sincerity behind that microscopic atom, not the size of the explosion it causes.
What does an atom's weight actually look like for us day to day? It's handing out a single Qur'an. It's having just one, brief, maybe even awkward conversation, or honestly, just offering a simple smile with the pure intention of dawah. Every single time you show up with that intention, even if it's a fleeting 5-second interaction you forget about right after, it is permanently logged in Allah's ledger. Absolutely no sincere effort is ever wasted.
And this right here just brilliantly shows the immense generosity we're dealing with. Surah An-Naml promises that whoever comes with a good deed will have better than it. You see what that means? Simply showing up with goodness guarantees a massive return. This should literally lift that heavy stress of tracking conversions right off your shoulders. The very act of stepping onto the path with a good deed is already a successful transaction.
Section 2. Planting the seeds. Understanding your role. Let's clear up exactly what our job is, using the metaphor of a garden. It's a real game changer. Look at the stark contrast in the division of labor. Your job, the Da'i's job, just plant the seed, deliver the message clearly, and show up with sincerity. Full stop. The actual growth, the opening of hearts, the heavy lifting of guiding a soul, that is entirely Allah's job. You just have to plant the seed.
Surah Al-Baqarah reinforces this so beautifully. It reminds us that those who spend in Allah's way are like a grain that grows 7 ears. We are only responsible for putting the grain in the dirt. That magnificent, miraculous harvest that eventually bursts from the soil belongs entirely to Allah.
Now, watch how this divine math actually builds, because Allah is the ultimate multiplier. That single seed, it grows 7 ears, and each ear holds 100 grains. We're talking a multiplier of 700. One quiet, sincere conversation you have today could literally be the seed that produces 700 ripples of guidance across generations. And the best part is, you don't even have to see it happen for it to be real.
So if you ever catch yourself thinking, man, I need a massive platform or 1 million followers to actually make a difference, remember Surah Al-Mudathir. The entire global mission of Islam started with just one person, the Prophet, peace be upon him, being told simply to arise and warn. The measure of success is the act of standing up. It's never been about the size of the audience. And if you're ever sitting there late at night, doubting if your quiet efforts or those seemingly ignored conversations even matter, listen to this direct, divine promise from Surah Al-Imran. I will not allow the deeds of any worker among you to be lost. Let that sink in. Your work is perfectly preserved. It's weighed, and it will absolutely be rewarded.
Actually, let's zoom in on a specific word used in that verse, amil. It translates to a worker. By explicitly calling you a worker, Allah is actively validating your labor. It's such an incredible honor, isn't it? It's confirmation that you are employed on this noble path, and not a single drop of sincere sweat is ever erased from your record.
Section 3. The prophetic promise, reframing the ultimate reward.
Let's turn to the Sunnah to see what ultimate victory actually looks like. The Prophet, peace be upon him, completely flipped the definition of success in this famous Hadith. By Allah, if Allah guides one man through you, it is better for you than red camels. Now back then, red camels were the ultimate status symbol, kind of like having a fleet of luxury supercars today. Guiding just one single soul, even if it takes years of grinding effort, is a greater triumph than hoarding all the wealth in the world.
And it gets better, because the rewards don't just stop at that initial moment of guidance. Think about the ripple effect. Even pointing someone partially toward a good deed means you get a reward equal to theirs. A small act of dawah today can just keep compounding for you, generating incredible rewards for decades without you having to lift another finger.
Section 4. Cultivating your practice. Grounded actions for the da'i.
All right, now that we've hopefully lifted that heavy burden of outcomes off your shoulders, let's talk practical application. First, we need to normalize the struggle by looking at history. The early Meccan period, that was 3 entire years of private, quiet dawah with almost zero visible outcome. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was doing the exact same work you are, with far less apparent success at the time, and he just kept going. So if you feel like nothing is happening, take comfort. You are walking right in prophetic footsteps.
So, here are 3 highly practical steps you can implement today based on decades of field experience. First, keep a personal dawah journal. Write down every single Qur'an you hand out, every little conversation. Seeing it accumulate on paper makes your invisible effort tangible. Second, shift your success metrics. Count how many times you actually showed up, not how many people converted. And third, dig into historical stories of single encounter conversions. They are absolutely amazing for keeping your inspiration high.
Let's lock in a few more of these daily habits. Before you even step out the door, say this out loud to yourself. My job is the message, Allah's is the heart. Seriously, saying it out loud does wonders for internalizing it. Also, after your interactions, make specific dua, specific prayers for the people you just spoke to. Use their names if you know them. It turns a quick chat into a long-term spiritual investment. And finally, buddy up. Pair with another volunteer. Smallness becomes massive strength when you're in a team, and it keeps your morale up when the soil feels a bit dry.
So, we've explored how Allah actually measures our deeds, how He multiplies our sincere efforts, and how the Prophet, peace be upon him, defined true success. Your efforts, no matter how tiny they might feel to you, are literally monumental on the divine scales. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to carry with you today. Knowing full well that you are only responsible for the planting, what single seed are you going to confidently step out and plant today?